Hello, science fiction fans, and welcome to my channel. I'm Peg, and I love reading anything having to do with science fiction, whether it be short stories or novels. Today I'm going to talk about different collections I have that I term themed anthologies, where they're science fiction short stories that have been gathered by the editor and have a theme that they're all about. I've collected this kind of anthology for whenever I go to a used bookstore, so I have some really old ones. Hopefully I'll get around to reading and maybe reviewing some of them on this channel. Anyway, the first one I have to show you is called Super Tanks. This was put out in the early 1980s. The editor is Joe Haldeman, who's also a prolific science fiction writer himself. And this one called Super Tanks, it says science has elevated war to high-tech killing art. The armaments and countermeasures of today's war toys are childlike compared to what a violent future holds in store for battlefields across the galaxy. So I guess this is going to be about different warfaring equipment of the future. The next one I have, actually this one is even older. It's called The Best of Analog. And this is from the magazine Analog from the years in the 1970s and maybe even before that. Ben Bova, also a writer, science fiction writer himself, was the best editor, won the Best Editor Award for Analog during those years. So he has selected ones that I guess he assumes are the best from there. I'm doing all the older ones first, and the older ones seem to all be in mass market paperback, which the newer ones aren't. Anyway, here's one called Future Crimes. It deals with high-tech identity theft, mutant con men, ingenious alien scams, etc. This one is edited by Dan and Gardner Dezoe, who has edited many. Gardner has edited many short story science fiction anthologies. Okay, one more oldie is called My Favorite Fantasy Story by well-known authors. I guess they picked some other author for their favorite. I have to admit that I am not always crazy about fantasy novels. They seem to be so long and so hard for me to really relate to. I'm kind of a pure science fiction fan when it comes to novels, but I don't mind the fantasy short story. Many of them are included in the awards these days, and I have found some that I really like. I guess the length of the short story and the tempo of it matches my taste better. So I think I would probably enjoy, or will enjoy, some of these. Okay, we're getting on to more contemporary anthologies with a theme, and there are three edited by Jonathan Strahan. They come a couple years apart. The first one is called Engineering Infinity, and I just have to say all these deal with hard fiction, usually in other worlds, and advanced engineering techniques, and they're fun. I can learn a lot from them. But anyway, there's three, I believe, in the series so far. There's this one. There is Reach for Infinity, which was put out in 2014. And the newest one, they keep getting bigger, is called Bridging Infinity. It was put out in 2016. So I hope to be reading some of these and reviewing them on this channel. These are the kind I really like. Okay, I have two brand new ones that I have gotten just recently, and they're getting into the better quality paperbacks and larger as I go on. This one's called Ruins Extraterrestrial, and the comment on that says that ruins from ancient civilizations of the universe, from future Earth to distant star systems, humans and aliens have left artifacts. Some ruins are harmless, some are not. All of them tell fascinating stories. I really like that archaeology part of science fiction where they find things and determine things about the past from what they find archaeologically. So I think I'll really like that one. And last of all is one that has just recently been published, and I'm really anxious to read it. Also edited by Jonathan Strahan, who seems to really edit a lot of these. Anyway, it's called Drowned Worlds, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory of what it's going to be about. The stories in it are going to be about ecological disasters of our time. That seems to be the most written about lately, is the rising of the waters due to the heating of the earth. So I think I'll stop there. Actually, I do have more, which I'll show you at a different time, but that's it for now. Let me know if you have any themed anthologies that you particularly like. I'm always on the lookout for new ones. Okay, thanks and bye. Thanks for listening.